Another beautiful day here in New York. A little cloudy, but that's okay. Today we're going to head back to Brooklyn and fill in a gap on the Brighton line that we left the last time we were there. So I did an episode on highlights of the Brighton line. If you haven't seen that one, you should go check it out. But at that point, I was just doing highlights from the super old part of the line, so I skipped the beginning of it. So now we're going to go back and fill that in. If you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. For now, it's back to Brooklyn. Let's go. Remember, most of the stations on this upper part of the Brighton line are a lot newer than the older stations that we did in the last episode we did about Brighton. The older part of the line that we did before is actually from the late 1800s. It's an old steam train line. Parts of this upper part were built during the dual contracts period to connect that part to Manhattan. So the first part of the line opened in 1878 as the Brooklyn, Flatbush, and Coney Island Railroad. Again, an old steam line that used to get pleasure seekers down to Coney Island. The line was later acquired by the BRT, the Brooklyn Rapid Transit Company, which then became the BMT, the Brooklyn Manhattan Transit Company. On the old part of the line from 1903 to 1908, all the original grade crossings were eliminated. That project also widened the line from 2 tracks to 4 tracks from Church Avenue to Sheepshead Bay. And then more of the line was widened from 1918 to 1920. The northern part of the original line became the BMT Franklin Avenue line, which is now the Franklin Avenue Shuttle, which we just did. Check that episode out if you haven't seen it. So we're here in Brooklyn. This first station here is DeKalb Avenue. It's an interchange for the BMT here between the Brighton line and the 4th Avenue line. The DeKalb Avenue station opened in 1915 as part of an extension to Coney Island, which included the 4th Avenue line and also the Sea Beach line. Also, as part of the dual contracts, an extension of the Brighton line was approved. So this Brighton line extension opened in 1920. This underground station has 6 tracks. There are 2 island platforms for the outer 4 tracks. The 2 inner tracks bypass the station. You see the 2 inner tracks behind that wall, and the other platform is on the other side of all that. Pretty similar on the other platform. This station is Atlantic Avenue. It's a station that's shared by the BMT Brighton Line, the BMT 4th Avenue Line, and the IRT Eastern Parkway line. The IRT's Eastern Parkway platforms were the first ones that were built here, and they opened in 1908. The 4th Avenue platforms were built in 1915, and then these Brighton Line platforms were built in 1920. So this station complex basically consists of 3 different stations. The shallowest of those stations is the Eastern Parkway line, which is only about 20 feet underground. We looked at those platforms in detail in the Eastern Parkway episode. The 4th Avenue line is the next one down. It's about 40 feet underground and has a mezzanine. And then this one, the Brighton Line platforms, are the deepest, and they're about 60 feet underground and also have mezzanines. The Brighton Line station has 2 tracks, 1 island platform. All the 2, 3, 4, and 5 platforms, which we've seen before. I'm trying to find the main part of the mezzanine. We're getting there. This is part of an art installation called Hook, Line, and Sinker. I don't remember which one this is. It's also a connection to the Atlantic Avenue Long Island Railroad station here. This is what I was looking for. This is the inside of the old station house. It's up on the street. It's one of those original designed by Hines and Lafarge. As you can see, they gutted it, and now it's just used as a skylight. But it's still there on the outside. We'll go out and have a look in just a second. We already seen it when we looked at that original features of the IRT. If you haven't seen that episode, check it out. But we'll go look again. So the original interior of this station house was gutted in the 1970s. Despite being listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1980, it still fell into disrepair. And it was temporarily relocated in the 2000s during reconstruction here. It's since been put back where it was, but it's no longer an entrance, as you can see. It's just a skylight. But as part of the artwork they installed here, you can see the shadow where the stairs used to be. So there it is from the outside. We walked around it in that other episode. I'm gonna stay over here this time. It's seen better days, but you can still see the Hines and Lafarge beauty there. All right, back to the Brighton Line platforms. Now we're at 7th Avenue on the Brighton Line. This station opened in 1920. It has two side platforms, two tracks. These tracks are above the Eastern Parkway's express tracks, which I can hear going by right now. There's a mezzanine above the station, which leads to some exits, and the mezzanine crosses over the Eastern Parkway's local tracks. The Eastern Parkway line doesn't stop here. It stops at two stations on either side of this that this line doesn't stop at. And each platform has two sets of closed-off stairs that lead to a closed-off section of the mezzanine. This station's Prospect Park. We've been here a couple times actually. Most recently when we did the Franklin Avenue Shuttle, which is right there. So this is an express station on the Brighton Line, also the terminal of the Franklin Avenue Shuttle. This station opened in July of 1878 when the Brooklyn, Flatbush, and Coney Island Railroad established this as their temporary northern terminus. In 1918, the station began rebuilding itself to accommodate the new subway connection to Manhattan over the Manhattan Bridge and the Montague Street Tunnel. This rebuilding is partly what led to the wreck at the Malbone Street Tunnel, which is right up that way. That wreck happened on November 1st of that year when a train of elevated cars derailed at a then new curve on the now unused southbound track. At least 93 people died, making it one of the U.S.'s deadliest train crashes. This open cut station has 4 tracks, 2 island platforms, connection to the Franklin Avenue Shuttle. And one thing that I forgot to look for while I was here is there's a plaque commemorating the Malbone Street wreck. It should be just outside of the station house at that end. So let's go out and look for it. I was turned around. I came out at the wrong end of the station. We got to walk around the block. There's the plaque. I walked right by it last time and forgot to look for it. It's not really hidden. So the street out here actually used to be called Malbone Street, but they renamed it after this accident so that people wouldn't have to think about it anymore. Well, that's what messed me up. There's a shuttle train sitting on the unused track over here that I saw and thought that was a shuttle. The shuttle's actually on the other side, which that means that's north. Oh well. So this is Parkside Avenue. Now we're into the old stations again. The station was originally built in 1895 by the Brooklyn, Flatbush, and Coney Island Railroad. Through a series of mergers and acquisitions, it became acquired by the Brooklyn Rapid Transit Company, which became the Brooklyn Manhattan Transit Company, and reopened in 1905 as a two-track station named Woodruff Avenue. This station was rebuilt in 1919 from a two-track station to a four-track station, and it currently has 4 tracks, 2 side platforms, express tracks in the middle don't stop here. The original 2/3 of the station is in a tunnel. There's an addition that goes outside of the tunnel to the north that way. Pretty narrow walkway back there. Station is Church Avenue. The original station opened in 1878. This current station is from 1907 though. The original station had 2 tracks and 2 side platforms that ran south from Church Avenue, whereas the current station has 4 tracks, 2 island platforms, and runs north from Church Avenue. This is an open cut express station, 4 tracks, 2 island platforms, with short tunnels at each end to carry the line under streets. The station has station houses at each end of the platform. The one at the southern end was demolished and rebuilt. The one at the northern end retains its original 1918 interior. This station house is not quite as scenic as the last one was. The next station on this line is Beverly Road, which is where I started the last Brighton Line episode. So I think that's the end of this episode. I'm going to grab the next queue and head back up to the east side. I'm back up to the east side after a nice look at the upper part of the Brighton line, filling in a gap that we left out earlier. Some dual contracts BMT stations mixed in there, and also some really old railroad stations. Good times. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the rest of the episodes already available up to the east side on YouTube. Like and subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and look for new episodes every Friday. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. See you next time.